for responses. The member from Haliburton-Kawartha Lakes-Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I am pleased to speak on behalf of our leader Patrick Brown and our entire PC caucus in recognizing International Women's Day. It is the 108th anniversary, and in particular, the United Nations theme for 2016 is Planet 50-50 by 2030. Step it up for gender equality. The UN's Step It Up initiative is a commitment to gender equality and that governments across the globe will address the challenges that are holding women and girls back from reaching their full potential. Although we have made great strides, further progress is needed. The World Economic Forum produced a report saying it would take until 2133 to achieve global gender parity. Far too long, Mr. Speaker. There are steps that we can take now to help women and girls achieve their ambitions to respect and value differences and develop more inclusive cultures. The first International Women's Day was observed in March 1911. At that time, the women's right to vote, marital or property rights, and even the basic dignity to be recognized as a person were not afforded to women. Even now in 2016, the struggle for equality is still a distant dream for many parts of the world. Equality is about making sure that women, just as much as men, are afforded the same respect and opportunities. My female colleagues here in the legislature on all sides serve as great examples of the strides our society has made on all the possibilities that women can make. Women have real choices and real opportunities. In Canada and in this province, the progress of women in education, business, sports, government, and the arts have shaped so much of who we are. Having the choice to pursue an education is so powerful as it paves the way to a brighter and better tomorrow. Girls are more likely to earn their high school diplomas on time and are less likely to drop out. A year ago, I said that I was optimistic and hopeful that we would see significant progress on a number of fronts on gender equality. Unfortunately, there is still a pervasive culture that is deeply rooted in misogyny and quite simply a lack of respect for women. But I do want to recognize the progress we have made in the legislature when it comes to dealing with sexual violence and harassment. Today, we unanimously passed Bill 132, the Sexual Violence and Harassment Action Plan. It will receive royal assent this afternoon. And along with the hashtag It's Never OK campaign and the hashtag Who Will You Help, these are positive steps forward. And I'm glad that we are dealing with this issue because for far too long the stigma has made victims and survivors feel embarrassed or ashamed and worse, guilty. Since last year, the Select Committee on Sexual Violence and Harassment, which I was honoured to co-chair, produced a report that had input from survivors, family members, advocates and workers in healthcare, justice, social support. As we commemorate International Women's Day, it is also important to bring human trafficking out of the dark. It is an underground and fast-growing crime that disproportionately targets girls averaging the age of 14. It is time to say that enough is enough. Our girls are not for sale. While I'm disappointed that Budget 2016 did not provide specific funding to tackle human trafficking right across this province, I call on the government to do what is right and act now to create a multi-jurisdictional task force of law enforcement agencies, Crown prosecutors, judges, victims services, and frontline agencies to coordinate and help these survivors. We must also pass Bill 158, the Saving the Next Girl Door Act, and say confidently that human trafficking will not be tolerated in this province. We all acknowledge that the crime is a crisis. It's not only in our province, but in our communities and our neighbourhoods, and that combating it is a priority. And so while we wait for the government strategy on human trafficking, these are steps that we can be taken right now. I want to conclude by congratulating all the female trailblazers for their dedication and commitment to advancing women's rights and equality. While we commemorate these efforts today and celebrate the progress we have made, International Women's Day is also a call for a commitment to see a better tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.